Once upon a time, in a loud and restless city where everyone rushed and nobody really listened, there existed a quiet little tea shop tucked into a narrow alley. It had no signboard, no advertisements, and yet those who needed it always seemed to find it. They called it the Cup of Silence. The shop was run by an old woman named Ama. She never spoke, not because she couldn't, but because she chose not to. Her silence wasn't cold, it was full. Her eyes held warmth, and her smile had the calm of someone who had made peace with life. One stormy evening, a young man named Rohan stumbled into the shop. He was a high-flying executive, always connected, always under pressure, but that evening, something inside him had cracked open. He wasn't looking for tea. He was looking for a pause. Soaked, tense, and defeated, he sat down and mumbled, "One tea." Ama nodded gently. No words, no questions, just movement graceful and sure. She brought him a steaming clay cup. The aroma was deep and earthy. Rohan instinctively reached for his phone but paused. There was no Wi-Fi, no music, no background noise, just a silence and his breath. For the first time in years, he sat without scrolling, without reacting, without performing, just sitting, listening, being. He felt strained, then a little uncomfortable, but something inside him leaned in. He began to notice things, the clink of distant cups, the curtain swaying softly, the rhythm of his own heartbeat. The silence wasn't empty, it was full of details he'd forgotten how to hear. By the time he finished the tea, something in him had shifted. Not dramatically, just softened, like something had exhaled inside him. As he stood to leave, Ama handed him a small, folded card. No expression, no explanation, just a quiet offering. He opened it. It read, "When the mind is quiet, the answers get loud." Rohan looked at her. She said nothing, but her eyes, they were smiling, the kind of smile that said more than words ever could. That moment lingered in him. He returned to the tea shop again, and again, not for the tea but for the stillness, for the feeling of being allowed to just be. And over time, Rohan changed. He still worked hard, still led teams, but he created space. For pauses, for breath, he judged less, listened more, and when chaos swirled around him, he remained calm because he had tasted silence, and it had taught him what noise never could. In a world that celebrates noise, never forget silence is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of self. The quietest spaces often hold the loudest wisdom, and sometimes all you need is a warm cup of silence.